Now that we've turned the calendar and we're in the beginning of a presidential election year and the third impeachment of a president in our nation's history, we're going to hear a great deal about the Constitution. It is the fallback argument for most politicians when their arguments fall apart. Now, I do think the Constitution is a remarkable document, but it's a flawed document, written by only white men, and they made a mess of the Second Amendment. I never have understood how a well-regulated militia has become every Stephen, Patrick, and Dylan can own an assault rifle, and yet gun owners claim to know exactly what the Founding Fathers meant. Founding Fathers, who were all white, and most of those white men owned slaves. Those are the men who wrote the document that is considered to be the holy grail of what makes our country so great. How can any constitution be the end-all argument about the foundation of our country when it included a 3/5 compromise? A compromise where only 3 of 5 slaves would be counted as people. It was to give the southern states more seats in Congress and more electoral votes, and it took almost 80 years before we as a country realized just how morally wrong that was. When you have the authors arguing that men with the pigmentation of a Dr. King, Barack Obama, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, and Frederick Douglass should only be counted as 3 of the 5, you have lost your claim to the higher ground. The Constitution was adopted in 1788. It was 82 years before the 15th Amendment allowed black men to vote, and another 50 years before the 19th Amendment gave women the vote. It has always been the American struggle to make the promise of the Constitution and what it aspires to be actually mean what so many think it does. But those white men, as flawed as they were, wrote a document that started this country the right way by starting with, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union." And hopefully, someday we will.